Folks, in my 20 years in the league, I've seen a lot of blockbuster moves, but what I'm about to tell you right now, it's on a different level. Something is happening behind closed doors, something that could rewrite the entire playoff picture for 2026. A move so massive, so unprecedented that I guarantee you, if it surfaces, it'll shake the NFL to its core. And right now, as we speak, the quiet whispers are turning into loud rumors, and those rumors are pointing directly at one player, a guy who's been a cornerstone for Cleveland's defense, Denzel Ward. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about Ward. It's about what this trade could mean for the Dallas Cowboys, for the future of their championship window, and for the entire NFC. If you think you've heard it all, think again. Because what I'm about to reveal could be the biggest secret in the NFL this offseason. And trust me, you're not going to get this from anywhere else. This is insider information that I've gathered from contacts deep inside the league, people I've trusted for years. And let me tell you, what's brewing right now is nothing short of monumental. Now, before I get into the details, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and activate that notification bell. If you're serious about getting the real story behind NFL trades, insider moves, and the hidden agendas, then you do not want to miss what's coming. Because the difference between fans in the dark and those who are ahead of the game is all about knowledge, and I'm here to give it to you raw, unfiltered, and very, very exclusive. Let's get into it. The Cowboys, as of late January 2026, are sitting at a critical crossroads. After a disappointing 7-9-1 record in 2025, missing the playoffs after a promising few seasons, Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer are unquestionably eager to retool, to reassert dominance, and to finally push through that championship barrier they've been knocking on for years. The roster has some promising pieces. CeeDee Lamb continues to evolve into a top-tier WR1, Dak Prescott remains a leader under center, and the defense, on paper, has the talent with Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons, and some young up-and-comers. But here's the cold truth, something's missing. Their secondary, especially the cornerback position, has been a question mark. Diggs is a star, no doubt, but his recent struggles with consistency and injuries have kept the team from feeling truly locked down on the perimeter. The defense, while talented, hasn't quite clicked into the elite level that playoff champions need. And most importantly, there's a sense that to ascend to the next level, Dallas needs that one game-changing player, a shutdown corner, a veteran who can lock down the league's best receivers and provide that psychological edge night in, night out. Enter Denzel Ward, Cleveland's golden boy. A player who, despite being just 28, is already a five-time Pro Bowler, has a contract that still screams elite value, $100.5 million over 5 years, with nearly $71 million guaranteed. The kind of contract that captures the NFL's attention, but also, dangerously, makes him a prime candidate for a blockbuster trade. Cleveland, under GM Andrew Berry, has been notoriously cautious about moving their core pieces. But sources tell me that there's a quiet movement happening, a shift in the long-term outlook of the Browns' roster, and Ward is front and center in those discussions. So, what makes Denzel Ward the perfect solution for Dallas? Well, studies of their recent games show that their secondary often gets scorched by top receivers. Against the Eagles, they struggled mightily with A.J. Brown, couldn't match his physicality. Against the 49ers, their coverage on Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk was inconsistent, especially in high-pressure situations. The analytics support it. Their pass defense in clutch moments ranks in the bottom third of the league, and that's with a roster that on paper should be better. What the Cowboys desperately need is a true shutdown corner, someone who can eliminate the opponent's top threat with ease, a player with the instinct, speed, and physicality that can turn the tide of a game. Ward fits that mold perfectly. Elite cover skills, 19 pass deflections in 2024 alone, 2 interceptions last season, and a reputation for being a relentless competitor. Plus, he's a familiar name to NFL insiders, a guy who's played in big moments for Cleveland, who's been trusted to match up against top-tier WRs and has consistently delivered. Now, film-wise, Denzel Ward is a technician. At 5'11" and 190 pounds, he's got the physical attributes for a premier corner. His side quickness and fluid hips allow him to mirror even the most agile receivers, And his ball skills, evidenced by his 2 INTs last year and multiple forced fumbles, make him a true playmaker. When you watch his coverage tape, you see a player who fights at the line, disrupts routes with exceptional timing, and doesn't shy away from contact. He's not just a cover guy, he's a game changer. Statistically, Ward's numbers in 2024 were some of his best. 49 tackles, 19 pass deflections, and a PFF grade close to 70. For his position, that's solid. But what really makes him valuable isn't just raw stats. It's his impact on the field, the way defenses can rely on him to lock down the opponent's top threat and free up other cover players to play more aggressively. So, how could this trade even happen? The mechanics are complex, but not impossible. Cleveland's current stance suggests they might be open to moving Ward if it means acquiring draft capital or adding a young receiver or linebacker to their core. Dallas, on the other hand, would need to offer a combination of mid-round picks, perhaps a young player with upside, and potentially restructure Ward's deal, which, given his age and performance, makes him a high-value asset with multiple years of prime left. In terms of cap gymnastics, Dallas could navigate this in several ways. They could include a player like Kelvin Joseph or a future draft pick to sweeten the deal. Cleveland, looking for flexibility, might accept a package that includes a second-rounder and a fourth-rounder, or a promising young player at linebacker or receiver. The cap implications are manageable. Ward's contract is hefty, but not so prohibitive that they can't fit it in with a few restructuring moves, especially if they shed some of the higher-priced veterans on their roster next offseason. What would this mean for both teams? Cleveland, currently in a rebuild mode, would get the draft capital and young talent they need to grow around their QB, Deshaun Watson, and a revamped roster. They could also look to replace Ward with a younger or more cost-controlled cornerback in the draft or via free agency. For Dallas, this isn't just about filling a positional need. It's about making a clear statement. We're all in, ready to contend now. Denzel Ward would give them a lockdown presence that opposing offenses would fear, especially in a playoff setting. His presence could elevate the entire defense, allowing Parsons more freedom to rush the passer or blitz from the secondary. It would send a clear message to the NFC. Dallas is back in the hunt for a championship, and they're willing to go all out to get it. But wait, it gets even more interesting. The buzz in league circles is that this move could be accelerated if Cleveland makes a push for a top receiver like Calvin Ridley or a young linebacker, adding more pieces to what they're trying to build. Meanwhile, in Dallas, the front office is reportedly exploring ways to free up cap space by restructuring contracts, possibly moving some veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence, or even trading a piece like C.D. Lamb if the right deal comes along. But insiders believe Ward is their top priority, a true difference maker that elevates the entire secondary instantly. Now, on the NFL insiders scale, this isn't just a rumor, it's a strategic chess move. Cleveland, sensing the clock ticking on their championship window, might value draft capital over a slightly declining veteran. Dallas, desperate to reclaim their spot at the top, is willing to pay a premium. The pieces are aligning. The question is, will the league's biggest players pull the trigger before someone else beats them to it? From a schematic perspective, Ward's fit with Coach Schottenheimer's aggressive, versatile defense is perfect. His ability to cover man-to-man, play zone, and even blitz makes him a Swiss Army knife for defensive coordinators. His presence complements Parsons' edge rush, creating a nightmare for offenses trying to scheme around coverage. And let's not ignore the psychological impact. Imagine the NFC landscape with a Dallas secondary anchored by Ward. How does that change game plans? How does it affect the confidence of opposing quarterbacks? The ripple effects could be seismic. As for timing, the offseason is the window. The NFL combines the free agency wave, trade deadlines. All of it is lining up for the grand reveal. The NFL's most secretive, powerful executives are working behind the scenes, and I've been told that Cleveland's front office is listening carefully, weighing whether this move puts them ahead or sets them back. In conclusion, this isn't just a rumor. It's a potential game changer. It's about a franchise trying to reclaim their empire, and a player whose elite skills might soon be donning the star on his helmet. Keep your eyes peeled, because if this deal goes down, it'll be one of the biggest stories in NFL history. And I promise, when the dust settles, everyone will know the name Denzel Ward in a whole new way. What do you think? Are the Cowboys about to make a bold move that shifts the NFC power balance? Will Cleveland capitalize on their assets for a rebuild? Or is this just another false alarm? Stick around, because I'll be here every step of the way with the inside scoop. The NFL offseason just got a whole lot more interesting, and the next chapter might just be written in Dallas. And remember, in this league, history favors the bold. And right now, the boldest move of all could be right around the corner.